would you like to go out with someone new? Which do you choose?
I want to see Kai again.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel yet again. I apologize in advance for the thunder and the rain. It's pouring cats and dogs outside, but we're gonna get the show running regardless. So we'll be reviewing episode 2 of season 2, Put a Ring on It, today. I'll try to give a synopsis of episode 1 since we missed it, but yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So episode 1, basically, to wrap it all up in a neat little bow, consists of all the men going out on their dates. So all 3 of them went out on dates, and then the woman had to stay home. Of course, the dates came to the house, they had to meet them, so we got to see how each woman handles their situation when another woman is in the picture. So the episode actually ended with Dr. Nicole asking each of the guys, do they want to go on another date? So this episode picks up from the last person who was yet to answer, which was Darian. Darian actually agreed to go on a second date with Kai. So of course, Dr. Nicole asked Alexia, how does she feel? And you could just tell she was sour. She tried to play it off. She did say that he could do what he wants, but of course Dr. Nicole checked her about that and told her the importance of being truthful in the process. So she said for her, the only thing is that him continuing to go on the same date with the same person, to her that means that they're developing a relationship, and she's not here for that. After all of that, Dr. Nicole then announces to everyone, all the couples there in the room, that this week it's time for the women to get the opportunity for them to go on dates. So each of the women will go out with new guys, while the guys get to stay home and do the reverse of waiting for their dates to come and meet them at the house. And Dr. Nicole also let them know that this week she's also going to be on call for those who may be having difficulty or in need of any type of help, so she's available for house calls.
Who is it?
It's Randon.
Who is it?
It's Randon.
Who?
It's Randon, man. What's up, bro?
What's your name?
Randon.
Who you looking for?
Here to meet Jessica.
For what?
Oh my God.
Going on a little date, if you don't mind, bro.
You at the wrong house.
The first date is actually at Jessica and Eric's home, and Jessica, of course, is the one going out on the date. And sis came down looking all types of cute. She had on a yellow and black dress. Clearly he's never seen it before, because he asked her, where did that come from? And she said, oh, when your date came to the house to pick you up, I bought this dress for my date, you know, because your date set the pace for what I am going to be allowed to do. Eric then tells us in his, we can hear his confessional. He's saying he's nervous and he's uncomfortable with her going out on a date because trust is an issue in this relationship. It seems to be the major issue. And so he played it off really well, even though he was uncomfortable. When her date came to the house, and her date's name is Randon, and he's, in my opinion, a younger looking guy. He's fit, he looks good, carries himself well, and he wasn't shy. He came into the house. Eric was being very playful. He actually opened the door and closed the door, but he was really chill. He came in and right away he was like, "Ooh, nice to meet you." She asked him how he's doing. He was like, "Oh, we're way better now." So he already had a flirt game on 1,000.
Thank you. Randon is definitely my type. So tell me a little about yourself.
I'm actually 32. I don't have no kids. I'm just taking my time. I want to make the right decision. I want to be one and done. My wife, have my kids and everything. I'm definitely dating. Look, I'm gonna just go ahead and be honest with you. I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. I ain't never had a girlfriend, ever.
I found it very interesting that during this date, Randon actually was comfortable to be himself, but also revealed that he has never had a girlfriend. I believe he said he was 32. And so for him to have never been in any serious relationship at all, for me, I did think that was a bit of a red flag, because he did explain, he was honest. He said that he was never really ready to be in anything serious or committed, and so for him it didn't make sense to go ahead and be in a relationship because it wouldn't have worked out, which I can appreciate the honesty, but it's still a red flag. Jessica seemed to really enjoy this date, and I was happy for her because I feel like Randon gave her the confidence boost with the compliments and so on that she really needed. Even if she doesn't end up going on a second date with him, I think this date was a nice change of pace for her. Alexia's date was next, and his name was Chris. He's 41 years old, and he's a entrepreneur in the fitness industry. So I can assume that he's a fitness instructor. He's quite fit, also speaks quite well, and age appropriate. He's, I mean, significantly older than her, 41 to 34, but it's okay. So he comes to the house, and I must say I didn't really get a connection between him and Alexia. He wasn't rude, but you know when you can tell that someone likes someone. For example, when Randon came to Jessica's house, immediately he saw her, he was like, oh, nice to meet you. You could tell he was attracted to her, tell he wanted to spend time with her. But with Alexia's date, I wasn't getting that energy, so I didn't feel like there was much of any romantic attraction. They felt more like friends who were on a hangout, just having a quick discussion.
That's probably an issue he has, but
What do you like to do? The reason you want to know why I'm asking you that, because I want to know, do you know who you are? And I'm not saying you don't.
oh yeah, listen,
But
I'm an alpha.
On their date, I did find it interesting also that he had to emphasize to her, what do you like, when he asked her, because she has a tendency to always be bringing the question or bringing her answers back around to what Smoke likes to do, or if she talks about what she likes to do, she will say, but he doesn't like this. So he had to ask her, but what do you like to do, like independently? So I do get a feeling like she may have lost a bit of her individuality in this relationship, which is not uncommon considering she has been with him since she was 19 and she's now 34. So that's maybe something that we're discovering about Alexia, but otherwise the date felt just like two friends talking, nothing much to tell. Shon and LaRonda actually decided to call Dr. Nicole to speak with Shon before her date because he has some trauma that he wanted to talk about and address in regards to his father and how it has affected his dynamic in his relationship, because he has this fear of being worthless, because in his family home he spoke about his father being financially a provider, but otherwise he was not around, and so his mom had to struggle a lot. And I think he has that fear, well, he said as much, that he has that fear of being worthless because being an entertainer, his financial situation is not stable, it's not consistent, and so there are times when he has money, and then there are other times when I guess he doesn't have enough to go around. Whereas LaRonda, her financial situation is very consistent. So he says when he doesn't have money, when he's not working, he feels like a bum. Then he started to cry. So Dr. Nicole literally had to tell him that he needs to see things for what it is and move away from what he knows with his parents, because he is not his father and their dynamic as a couple is not his dynamic now. So he's already doing things differently, and that's something that he should acknowledge and commend himself for.
Bless you, LaRonda.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet
You can take a
brother.
seat if you want to,
Oh,
man.
bless you, brother.
How are you?
I'm doing extremely well. You look
Are
nice.
you excited? Thank you.
It's gonna be promising. Clarity.
Finally, LaRonda's date came up. His name is John. He's 36. He's a singer-songwriter, so things seem a bit more stable with him. And he entered the home, and immediately we could see that Shon was a ball of nervousness. He was very anxious, very fidgety, and we even saw LaRonda saying to him, like, you're much calmer today than you were yesterday. So I'm wondering, how bad was he yesterday, because he seemed so nervous and agitated.
There's always that possibility.
That's kind of hard, brother. So, I am not okay.
First.
You can throw ladies first.
Oh my goodness!
You got me. Wow. See?
You know?
LaRonda and John have very good energy. I think that their date went really well. They were playful, but they still found time to have meaningful conversation in between. Like, she expressed that marriage and having kids are of the utmost importance to her. He actually said that having kids is something important to him, but he did say within a partnership. He didn't say marriage. I don't know if anybody else caught that. John offered to take her out again, so he also enjoyed the date, and he also sang for her, which I thought was really sweet, and she seemed to be very she enjoyed it. LaRonda is a very nice person, and she seems to be able to be the type of person that can get along with almost anyone. She's able to adjust and move with the person that she's with. But I definitely think her and John have a lot in common in terms of their playfulness, their goofiness, and their date felt light. It didn't feel heavy or the date didn't feel like, oh, two people just sitting interrogating each other. And for that reason, I think it went really well. At the same time, we're seeing clips of Shon at home losing the plot. Dude was a ball of nervous energy, a wreck. So he's doing push-ups, he's doing pull-ups, he's all over the place, pacing up and down. He's calling his friend, he started crying. He was like, I can't do this, it's making me uncomfortable, I can't afford to lose her. And then we see him, he goes into the bathroom and the door closes. Then the scene cuts to Dr. Nicole and the three couples, and here she's asking the women how did their dates go for the week. So Alexia starts and she says she liked her date. What she particularly liked was that he listened and they were able to communicate well. That's her takeaway, because apparently Smoke doesn't do a good job of listening to her when she has concerns. Jessica said she found Randon very attractive, but for her, she realized that the date made Eric not trust her. So Dr. Nicole asks her, do you guys have trust? And she says, well, he doesn't trust me, and it goes both ways because, you know, that's the biggest issue in their relationship. So Dr. Nicole asks her, do you think that's sustainable? And she says, well, you know, we're trying. And she's just like, sweetie, no. And then Eric was like, he doesn't think it's sustainable, but he knows that they have quite a bit of work to do before they get to the point where they have found the foundation of trust. So at least he's being sensible about it. So finally, Dr. Nicole asked LaRonda how did she enjoy her date, or if she enjoyed her date. So she said yes, she liked her date a lot. She felt that he was sweet and things went smoothly with him. And Shon is over there, his eyebrows going up and down like he's, oh my god, I'm actually really sorry for him sometimes. So eventually Dr. Nicole asked him how did he feel about her going on a date. He was like, I didn't like it. I was a nervous wreck. I had knots in my stomach. I literally felt sick. He made himself sick. That's how anxious and nervous he was. He ended up throwing up in the bathroom when we saw him go in there. And I'm just thinking, my God, that's a very extreme response to considering this is what they signed up for. They knew that they were going to be going out with other people. So I feel like his response is quite extreme. But then he continued to express why and the deeper meanings behind it, and how his father has played a role in him being the way that he is. He's so focused on what things could be or how bad things could be that he's not really paying attention to the current status of their relationship and the fact that he's already doing better than what he knows with his parents. So that's what Dr. Nicole really had to point out to him.
Moment to speak your truth and start to get the freedom that you deserve versus moving in fear of not trying to be someone.
That their dynamic is a bit, I guess, a bit of a reversal almost, because she seems to be the provider or the primary provider. She's the primary comforter and he's the sensitive one. He actually said it, that he's a sensitive guy, he knows, and oh my God, he sure is. He cries a lot. So finally, decisions. Dr. Nicole asked all the women, what is your decision? Would you like to go out with this same person you went out with this week, or would you like to go out with someone new for next week? Jessica says no, she doesn't want to go out with Randon again because at his age, like I said earlier, she feels like it's a red flag that he has never had a serious or committed relationship, and I would have to agree with that one. Alexia decided not to go on a second date because for her, she said something just didn't click. And for me, what I said is I realized that there seems to be a lack of romantic connection with these two. They seem more like buddies going out for a quick drink, discussing relationship issues. So I would like to think that's what it is. He also didn't seem very excited to be going out with her, so I don't know if maybe he's not attracted to her or what, but we will never know because she says no. And then finally, Dr. Nicole asked LaRonda if she wanted to go on a second date with John, but she decided to say no, not because she didn't like him, but because she's worried about how Shon will take it. So Dr. Nicole let her know that there are going to be other dates, and I mean, this is what y'all signed up for, so that's really not a good way to be going about it. And in order to get the most from the process, they need to do it honestly. So she still stuck to her no, but we have to see moving forward with these two, because if he's gonna react like this every time she goes out, I don't think this process is gonna work out for them. And that was the end of the episode. I love that we are learning more about each of these couples as individuals, as well as their dynamic as an entity in their relationship. As the weeks go by, I'm looking forward to really understanding more about their dynamics together and individually. So share with me in the comments who is your favorite couple and why. Who do you think is not gonna make it? Like which pair you think, they may not make it, and why you think that is so. And until next time, guys,